Okay, good morning, everyone. I call this meeting to order at 9:03 a.m. and I will start with our land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of the Fernandano Tataviam Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University, Northridge. Honors their elders past and present, and the descendants who are citizens of the Fernandano Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. Now moving on to roll call.
Vice President Jimeniana Aragon,
Here.
Senator Abrams,
Here.
Senator Arias Gomez,
Here.
Senator Atias,
Here.
Senator Basilio,
Here.
Senator Cabrera Figueroa, Senator Contreras,
Here.
Senator Cunanan,
Here.
Senator Dominguez,
Here.
Senator Garcia,
Here.
Senator Gavino,
Here.
Senator Kachadia,
Here.
Senator Katka,
Here.
Senator Mane,
Here.
Senator Quiroga,
Here.
Senator Ramirez,
Here.
Senator Umana,
Here.
Senator Vicente.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Now moving on to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion? Senator Basilio?
I move to approve the agenda for October 6, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Quiroga, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none, if there are no objections, we will approve this agenda unanimously. Okay, thank you. Now moving on to the approval of the minutes, is there a motion? Senator Dominguez?
I move to approve the minutes for October 6, 2025. Oh, I move to approve the minutes for September 29, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Umana, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none, if there are no objections, we will approve the minutes for September 29, 2025 unanimously. Okay, thank you. We will now move over to special presentations, starting with our Provost Office, Dr. Kamaraju and Dr. Bora. You may now approach the podium.
Share a few words. All right, thank you for the reminder. So good morning again, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to join you and share a few remarks. I'm here with our Vice Provost, Joy Bora. And also thank you for rescheduling. I was supposed to be here last week, but something came up. And so I'm glad that you still extended a reschedule. So thank you for that. As we enter week 7 of the semester, there's so much that's going on campus that you may have on your mind. So I will share a few remarks and then I'll be available to answer any questions that you might have. So first of all, in my monthly meeting with your president and vice president, I had some tips in terms of what to cover for today. One of the things they wanted me to address is like, what is a provost and what does a provost do? Which is a fair question. I'm asked that very often. And so before I tell you what a provost does, I'll tell you a little bit about who Mira is and then answer that question. So I did start out my academic career as a faculty member. And so for many years, I taught psychology at another university in the Midwest, Southern Illinois University, Carbondale, and moved up the ranks, assistant associate full professor. And I also served in administrative roles as a department chair, and then as associate dean of a college, and as also provost at that university for 4.5 years. And I came to CSUN as a provost about 3 years ago. So what a provost does is really represents the academic side of the house and supports the president from that perspective. So we have a president and then we have 5 vice presidents, different portfolios. So mine is academic affairs, which means all of the deans, college deans report to me. And within each college, you have departments. So we have 60 departments at CSUN. And I have 10 deans that report to me. And my responsibility is to ensure that we deliver the academic mission of the university. all of the teaching that happens, all of the learning that happens to ensure it's done well. Hiring of faculty, preparing them to be here at CSUN, to be successful. They go through the promotions, assistant to associate to full. So I review all of those dossiers and make those decisions. So that's one aspect. Curriculum, making sure that the curriculum is relevant, it's fresh, is useful for our students. So that's really what a provost does. On a daily basis, my work is to be in a lot of meetings, about 10 to 12 meetings. And then a few hours after that, just to answer all the emails that have piled up. It's a lot of problem solving, judgment, decision making that happens through my office. So that's really what a provost does. The second question that I was given is, could I give some update on advising? So during the 2.5, almost 3 years that I've been here, we have been spending a lot of investment and time and effort on advising. And over this time, we have moved toward a caseload approach to advising. This fall, half the colleges were already there. In spring, the remaining colleges will catch up. And by fall 2026, we should be all in place. What we are trying to do is ensuring that every student is taken care of by an advisor. And every student has a dedicated advisor who will be their person throughout their time here, both transfer and first-time freshmen. Up until now, for transfer students, it was optional to see an advisor. But we are changing that so that every transfer student also has a dedicated advisor. And that has involved hiring a lot of advisors because we didn't have enough advisors for all our students. So now we have over 100 advisors. And for every college, we have a director of college advising. And for the whole university, we have a senior director of university advising that is at sort of all the leadership meetings and is the point person for advising related issues and concerns. After I met your president, vice president, they identified some concerns that they had. So I connected to our director of advising, Cindy Greco, and let her know to connect with your president, vice president. So we address any concerns that are there. So that was the second question that I had. The third one was questions about budget. You're hearing about, oh, there are budget cuts and there are budget constraints, budget challenges. How will that impact what happens to your courses, your instructors, and so on? So just to give you a quick overview in terms of budget, we do have a university planning and budget group that meets twice each semester, and we had a meeting recently. We have student senators representation at the meeting, so I hope they bring information back to you. And what we've been working on the last few years is that the first 2 years that I was here, we didn't get a budget cut. But from a budget perspective, through the collective bargaining process, a 5% compensation increase was approved for all employees. But we didn't get that extra money for it. If you had $100 and now you have to spend $105, you have to find it in that 100. We didn't get that $5 extra. The second year, a similar 5% raise was approved. So now you have to find $10 more inside your $100. So you feel a constraint. That was the first 2 years. This year, starting this fall, we actually got a cut from the state. And that's for the state support, which is about half of our budget comes from state support. So that we got a 3% cut. So these are all constraints, right? So how do we adjust in that? So I just want you to feel reassured that as we make those decisions, we prioritize the teaching and learning. In making budget decisions, we say, okay, what is our priority? What is it that we must do? What is it that is nice to do? We make that decision. And how do we decide what is it that we must do? We ask the question, what are we about? What are the things we have to do? I'll give an example of decisions that departments are making. When they see the constraint, they're saying, okay, faculty have to travel to present their research so that they can go for promotion. But then we have constraints. We don't have enough funds for everyone to travel. So we'll ensure that our assistant and associate professors who are still going up promotion, they get to travel first. They get their first choice. Full professors don't have any more promotion that they are looking toward. So they'll take a second place. So that's a departmental decision that is made. So just to give you an example of how do you prioritize what you must do, what we would like to do. And then the last question was about faculty resources. So despite all of these constraints, we are hiring faculty. This semester, we welcomed 34 new faculty. We had a 4-day new faculty orientation. We also are increasing our investment in our non-tenure track faculty. So we have lecturers. So just for you to have some data, we have about 2,000 faculty members on our campus. 800 are tenure track and 1,200 are non-tenure track or lecturers. So we're also investing in our lecturers, ensuring that they also receive orientation and support. So I think those are like my remarks that I would like to pause and then take questions. I would like to know what's on your mind, what are some questions that you have for me, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Are there any questions from the board?
Yes?
What like student resources do you have to do you consider like when looking at the budget, like if you keep them or not?
Student resources, like student related. So in all the conversations that we have at Dean's Council or Provost Council is to think of different ways that we can support student success. I'll give an example in terms of resources. So we are looking at how well we retain our students. So if we admit 100 students into our fall semester, how many students continue the next fall semester? And this is a data point that we document for first-time freshmen. So that's a number that we're not happy with. We're trying to do better. A few years ago, it used to be 80%. We would retain 80%. Then that number has fallen down to 73%, 74%. In the last 3 years, it was either steady or declining. This fall, for the first time, is looking upward in terms of the students we brought last fall. And that's not by chance. That's with a lot of work that we are doing to address issues. For example, we are investing in math. The math department came up with a proposal saying we are finding that students are not doing well in some of our courses. We would like to invest in training for the instructors and coordination between the instructors and the discussion sections. Can we get some support? So the provost area has invested in that so that we improve the success of students in math. We're also investing in writing to see how students can do better in writing. I make sure that inside of each college, we have what is called a GRS, a graduation and retention specialist. So we are ensuring that we are having our GRSs work more closely with the director of advising and the associate dean so that they can help students who might be struggling. We're looking at the data at the end of the first fall semester. How many students are going on academic notice? We have about 27%. The first semester itself, they're going on academic notice. Who are they? What's going on with them? Let's look at the transcripts. How can we support them? This semester, for the first time, we are sort of reviving an early warning system that we used to have in place. So we have two things going on. We are using EAB so that the instructor can say, hey, you know, Mira has not been coming to class. She has missed 2 assignments. And then the GRS will reach out to Mira, say, hey, is everything okay? How can we support you? We also have Canvas Insights. So instructors who use Canvas Insights. So this is what we're doing with U100. So with Canvas Insights, the notification is sent to students who are not logging into Canvas in the first couple of weeks. And we have found that after that notification, students are now logging into the Canvas and paying attention to the assignments, the homework, the syllabus, and so on. So just an example of things that we're trying to do at every level. So these are just examples. There's a lot more that we are doing. And that is happening inside of the colleges to support our students.
Are there any other questions? Senator Kacharia? Okay.
So I was just curious that I want to ask that does new student who are coming to university or transfer student, does they all affect your decisions?
So the last part I didn't get. So the new students who come?
Yes, new students or transfer students who come to university. So if the ratio is low or more, it depends on the semester, I guess. But does that affect your decisions?
Yeah. So the question is about the new cohort of students who are coming in. If they increase or they decrease, does that impact our decisions? Absolutely. Absolutely. So this semester, we are a little concerned. So it's on our radar and we are working toward it. So this semester, we are seeing some declines in our first-time freshman students. Is about 5.6% less than last year. So just remember that it's not absolute number. It's relative. It's relative to last year. So last year's class, we saw an increase. This year, we are seeing a decrease of first-time freshmen. We have 5,000 plus, but that number is about 5.6% lower than last year. Transfer is almost flat compared to last year. And then graduate students is down about 8% compared to last year. Now, we are concerned because these numbers directly impact our budget directly. Because if you think of our budget, about half of it comes from tuition and fees that students pay, and the other half comes from the money that the state gives us to support resident student credits that we generate. So yes, it absolutely concerns us, and we are paying attention to it. We also acknowledge that this year was a little unusual, that we saw a decline in international students, almost 50% decline in new students. Overall, about 30% decline in international students. That's new and continuing. But just in terms of new students, it's about 50%.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Senator Gavino.
Hi, thank you. We've been hearing a lot about the CSUN AI initiative and all of the AI implementations around the school, but we've been mainly hearing from the IT side of things and the implementation side of things. So I was just wondering if Academic Affairs had any perspectives on that or was looking into any guidelines or that sort of thing.
Thank you. That's a really big question, and I looked at my time. I have very little, but I'll do my best to answer it. So I'll answer it at two levels. One is personally, I'm engaged in that effort because I represent all of the provosts. You know, we have 22 campuses in the CSU. So I represent all of the provosts on a board that's called the Workforce Acceleration Board AI, that has representation from the governor's office, 12 industry partners, and then representation from all of the presidents, all of the CIOs, and the student affairs rep, and so on. So just want to let you know that this is a large group. We have been meeting regularly. Just 10 days ago, I was in Sacramento. And really the focus is on how best can we prepare our students when they go out into the workforce. How well are they prepared in terms of their AI literacy and skills? At our Sacramento meeting, we had the Secretary for Education and Labor from the governor's office there with his team. And they were saying that how keen they are to ensure that they support CSU in preparing students. So that's one level, just to say that's on my mind because I'm in that work. And within that group, we have subgroups, and I chair the faculty empowerment group. How to get our faculty to use AI in their teaching? How do we get faculty to infuse AI in the curriculum? So at the CSUN campus level, along with our VP for IT, Ron Phillip, and myself, we have created a task force that has a rep from my area. So we have the AVP for Research and Sponsored Programs co-chairing this task force. They just made a presentation to the Faculty Senate Executive Committee last week, and they're planning to make a presentation to the Faculty Senate. So I just want to let you know that our faculty, there are kind of like three groups of faculty. There are some faculty who are very concerned about the use of AI, the ethical use of AI. They're concerned about how the ready use of AI can impact the critical thinking skills of our students. They're concerned about bias that might be in the data driving AI. So these are just some of the examples of concerns about AI. Then we have a group of faculty who are not waiting for us to do anything. They're already up and running. They're infusing their curriculum with AI. They're preparing their students with, how to be AI literate and so on. And then we have a group in the middle who are kind of hearing about this, and they are curious about it. They want to get involved. They're not really sure how to do it. They're looking for support and so on. So that is like kind of the larger group in the middle that we are doing our best to support and help. So just to let you know is that AI is on our radar. CSUN is very much looking to see how we can do it in a measured and judicious way so that we are protecting our students in terms of their critical thinking skills and being aware of the ethical use of AI. And we want to ensure that our students who graduate are as ready for the workforce as possible. And that is also something that the new chancellor for the CSU system in the strategic plan that was revealed, there is a lot of emphasis on career readiness for our students. So it's not just enough that you graduate and have a degree in your hand, but what you do with your degree, the next step is also something that we take the responsibility for. We ensure that you're well placed when you leave from here, whether you choose employment or you choose to go on to higher studies, that we take that responsibility and prepare you for that. So there's a lot that we are doing in that space. And you might be interested, the Chancellor's Office had put out a call for proposals from faculty to support their AI-related work. CSUN had the highest number of applications, and 4 faculty received the award across the campus. So we had the highest number of awards. So there are faculty who are very, very active in that region.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Senator Diaz-Gomez?
When talking about students having relationships with their academic advisors, does this take into consideration student concerns on how the academic advisor is behaving during the meetings or how they're conducted? Because if so, is there a place where students can voice their concerns to be taken into consideration when having those meetings?
Absolutely. That is so integral to what we want to do, is we really want to have those positive relationships. And that's really what we are telling the advisors, is to have this relationship with the student so the student gets to know you. Because you have different instructors. You may not even have the same instructor twice, but there's somebody on the academic side that you can talk to. This is the person that you would share what happened with to you last semester. You might be thinking of changing your major. You have a conversation. If the relationship is not going well, there is a college director of advising that you could speak with. And I'll also explore the idea of maybe having kind of like a suggestion box or something where someone can drop off. If sometimes students are concerned about remaining anonymous when they share their complaint. And if you all have ideas, I'm open to that. I don't believe that one person has all the answers. So I'd be welcome your ideas or suggestions about how you can communicate your concerns. For example, when the president and vice president met with me and told these are some of the experiences we had, I said, okay, I want Cindy to know so that she can address it. We at least my approach and my philosophy that I try to communicate to my leadership team is, we are not afraid to own errors or mistakes, because no one is perfect. But you have to have the courage to say, okay, what are we not doing well? And then how can we address it? It may take a little time, but we already begun that work, right? We're saying that's not okay. We have to do better. So if there is any issues and advisement, let us know. And if there's concern about being identified, let us know, through your leadership. And we will address it. We'll take it on. We'll say, okay, we are not doing good in this area. We'll address it. Then we'll be better. So we want to always continuously improve what we're doing.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Senator Cabrera Figueroa.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Did you have a question or? No? Okay. I think that's it. Thank you so
All right.
much, Dr. Kamaraj.
Thank you. As I leave, I just have one request for you. I've told my deans to get to know their senators. Now I'm asking you, get to know your dean. So the deans have what is called like an administrative council. So they meet with all their chairs regularly. Ask to be on that agenda so that you can introduce yourself, so that the deans know what's on students' mind. I don't need to come here to hear from you and then go and tell the deans what you have on your mind. They should also be hearing it regularly. So that's also part of your own leadership development, is to know how to navigate the academy. So I hope you will do that. Thank you for the opportunity, and hope to stay connected with you.
Thank you. We will now move over to our next presentation for the CSUN Safe app, which is brought to you by the Department of Police Services, Tony Arias and Nelson Cox.
Good morning, everyone. I see some new faces here, so I'll introduce myself again. My name is Catarino Arias. I go by Tony, and I'm the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for Police Services. Thank you for having us here again. We're very excited to present to you this morning CSUN Safe. This is a project that has been in the works for over a year. We were thinking, how can we use technology and how can we use our cell phones that all of us have to be able to have a different take when it comes to safety on our campus. As you will see in a couple of minutes, we believe that this Safe app is going to be a great tool for us to have on this campus and for us to be able to access safety services in a way that we haven't been able to access in the past. My colleague, the Director of Emergency Management and Business Continuity, Nelson Cox, will walk you through several slides that will give you a better understanding of the CSUN Safe app, the functionalities of the app, and will give you a really good understanding of where we hope this app goes in our community when it comes to using technology to continue to expand safety in our community. So with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague, Nelson Cox.
Good morning, AS Senate. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Nelson Cox. I'm the Director of Emergency Preparedness and Business Continuity here at Cal State Northridge, and I'm also a proud alumnus. Graduated 2002. So when I started here in the late 1900s, as I like to say it, as a student, safety was always a priority here on campus. For a variety and also obvious reasons. So today, what I'd like to go over with everybody is why we went and took a look as to how we can modernize, but more so than that, empower our community with their own personal preparedness and safety. As your emergency management director, I take this very seriously, and I applied that with my working team to make sure that we thought of everything as we developed this app. The app is free. Fortunately, we have an inclusive contract with Rave Alert, which is a Motorola Solutions company. The governor of California actually was able to solidify a contract for all Cal States in every campus to receive Rave Alert and AppArmor, which is where the CSUN Safe app is housed. So it's at no cost to the campus. This will allow us to ensure that we enhance the safety for students, faculty, and staff. Additionally, it gives you an immediate opportunity to communicate with our 911 dispatch here on campus at DPS in the event of an emergency. It also sends real-time safety alerts. You'll be receiving emergency alerts through the app as well as communication between you and the operator, not only by phone, but by text. I'll go into that soon. And also, I thought part of safety is being able to communicate with the different resources that we have here on campus to help you make CSUN a safe environment. Is this what I use to proceed, or? Okay. All right, I'm sorry if this thing blows up. So I invite everybody to take a look at that QR code and download the app today. It is available through the Apple Store and Google Play. Once again, this is specifically for the campus, but it's not specifically for the CSUN community. And the reason I am saying that is because it will work for anybody who comes and visits our campus. You don't have to put in a student ID number. You don't have to put down your name. It's downloadable just as any other app would be here on campus. But I do want everybody to remember that the app will call the dispatch of whatever law enforcement agency is close to you. Meaning, if you're on campus, it'll call DPS. But if you're in, say, Santa Clarita, where I live, it will call the LA County Sheriff's or CHP. And that is for the purposes of an immediate safety. So you want to use that on campus if you want to use DPS. The dashboard, we took a lot of consideration into how we would be using this. First of all, we looked at the different consistencies that we find in being able to manage that dashboard with your fingers. Whether you're using your thumbs or your index finger, depending what generation you are, you'll be aware that your vision hits straight to the center of the screen. And with that, it'll also allow you to text 911, which is your yellow button, and have a mobile blue light button that you can press to work like a mobile blue light. And I'll go into the features of that shortly. It also allows you to be able to contact, like I stated earlier, a 911 operator here on campus, either through text or phone call. And also to stay connected with the resources on campus that you will use or may not use, but they're available for you. So the first feature we'll be looking at is the friend walk. How many of you guys, how many of all of you share your location services now with a family member, friend, significant other for safety purposes, or just to overall make sure that you all keep everyone informed, right? You can actually designate somebody from your phone contact list, somebody you trust. I recommend somebody who doesn't text a day and a half back. You want to have somebody who will text immediately, but use that individual as a person to check in when you're walking to your car, walking to the next building during hours that are usually an emptier campus than, let's say, at this hour or at 10 a.m., right? Just to make sure that you have somebody knowledgeable of what your whereabouts are and that you're safe. For the friend walk, the other individual does not have to have the app, but I strongly encourage you to encourage them to download the app. Mobile blue light, this is probably my favorite feature. This puts that big blue tower that has a siren on top in front of the bookstore in your pocket. This means that you can be walking anywhere on campus. You press that button, you can contact 911 immediately over the phone, and it will geolocate where you are on campus. This will make it much easier for you to advise DPS as to your whereabouts and where you need help. There are certain times when we call 911 and the fear or just the emotion that goes along with the incident keeps us from communicating effectively. So this is really helpful in getting a police officer, a fire engine, an ambulance to you as you need it, or to the area that you'd like to report that an incident is occurring. I do want to make it clear that this blue light will only maintain visibility of your location once you've made the call. It will stop once you hung up. It's not something that you will be being monitored after you've used it the first time. Text 911. Did many of you know that texting 911 is an option for you? Through studies, we found out that it's about 70% of people do not know that you can actually text 911. This is innovative in the sense that Cal State Northridge is practicing complete inclusive security on campus by ensuring that not only those students who are hearing are able to call 911 and communicate effectively, but our brothers and sisters who are deaf and hard of hearing are also able to maintain communication in the way that they need to make sure that they are safe. So it really enhances our ability to keep our entire campus safe. Additionally, we are aware that there are times when making a phone call isn't ideal. We are aware that there are times when you have to stay absolutely quiet to make sure that you are able to give the dispatcher the information of what your location is because of the particular crime. And text 911 allows you to do that. The way it works is if you press the yellow button, if you have downloaded it, please do not do it now. It will flip on your messaging app. So whether you're using Android or Google, it will use your core messaging application. to send a text message directly to dispatch. I do recommend, if you have an iPhone, to give yourself the availability to send a message SMS as well, because if you have very little reception, staying on iMessage will rely too much on cellular services. If you send out an SMS message, it can send it through satellite. So it really enhances your ability to communicate for an emergency. WeTip, the only way that we can maintain a safe campus is if we say something when we see something. And the WeTip feature on this app, after pressing that button, you can anonymously report a suspicious activity, prior criminal activity, or any safety concerns through a phone call or an email. Once again, it's completely anonymous. Campus maps. There's a variety of maps here on campus that are useful for the entire campus community. And this will allow you to do some navigation through campus through either the PDF map, the original map that you might print out and use to walk through campus, or a virtual map that gives you the step-by-step movement of where your location is while you're on campus. And one really cool feature is it gives you the shuttle schedule and the actual whereabouts of where that shuttle is if you happen to be a student housing resident. That's one big plus for me, because I know when I was a student here and I was living in Building 3 and it was 103 degrees outside, it was nice knowing that that shuttle was right around the corner. So I do encourage you to take a look at that feature. It's pretty cool. The Metrolink shuttle route. Who here relies on the Metrolink to travel to campus? So we have a couple, and I know there's at least 600 members of the CSUN community that rely on that type of public transportation to get here. The shuttle routes and the schedule for the day is also on that button right there. Emergency procedures. This is where we get into the thick of things. We want to know how we should react in situations where our safety is in peril, the campus is going through a tough time. You press that emergency procedures button and it indicates to you how you should respond to make sure you're immediately safe. It gives you suggestions if you're in a group as well. You may also recognize these suggestions from the posters that you should be seeing around campus, especially in the hallways of where your classrooms are located. And lastly, support resources. Campus safety isn't only involving the Department of Police Services. It includes the entire campus. And for that reason, in support resources, we have also included university counseling services to ensure that students are able to communicate and contact emotional and mental support services. It also has a direct link for a phone call or to the website for the CLOTS Student Health Center. And lastly, if you are a commuter or you rely on your vehicle for transportation to campus, while you're on campus, if you happen to lock yourself out of the car, or if you need a jump to your battery, you can use the support resources button to contact parking enforcement. They'll come out and assist you with that. So it makes it very easy to get those services directly from the app. That would be my presentation. I'm ready for questions if anybody has any.
Are there any questions from the board? Senator Cabrera Figueroa?
Earlier you had mentioned for the text 911 that it would send a text to dispatch. I just want to clarify, is that to DPS here, or is that like the earlier mentioned where it's the nearest police station?
It comes to DPS, but I do want to also make clear that you can also text your local law enforcement dispatch center if you happen to be off campus.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Senator Basilio?
Is this just questions about the app itself or for DPS?
This is just questions for the app. Okay, are there any other questions? Senator Gabino?
Not so much as a question, more than a recommendation.
Yes.
It's great that you have the support resources on there. I think it's a really good inclusion, having other departments included. I would recommend adding, just since we're trying to create a community of safety, I'd recommend adding the Immigration Enforcement Information and Services Resources Hub link onto either that or the emergency procedure side, wherever you believe it falls. But I think having those resources on this app would help. So.
That's a great suggestion. I'll definitely take it back and see how we can work with that. Thank you.
Senator Diaz-Gomez?
For the mobile blue light feature, does it continue to work even in certain locations where there's little to absolute no cell service?
That's a great question. No, so it won't only use the Wi-Fi and cellular towers and signal satellites, whatever they're called. Sorry, I'm not super tech guy, but it will also locate you through satellite. Your SOS satellite. You may have noticed that at times when your phone is not receiving any signal, that a little SOS icon with a satellite might pop up on the right top corner. That will take over your location because it is aware that it has contacted 911.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Senator Cabrera Figueroa?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about that image that was on the screen. So I know that's a template for what the app is going to look like. I noticed that there's a button for preferences. I haven't gone through the app yet, so I just want to ask, could you go a little bit more on what's in that about and preferences, if that makes any alterations to the interface for people using the app? Just a little bit more understanding about that.
Absolutely. So that preferences button allows you to go into your settings and turn on your geolocation, which is also important that you have activated whenever you use the app. You can actually individualize that particular app to turn on your location settings when necessary, because the 911 feature won't be as effective without that particular function. It'll also allow you to dictate what type of ring will come through whenever you get an alert through the app, and I believe that would be it for the preferences. Essentially, it's just a direct link to your settings.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Senator Min?
Permission to be recognized.
Oh, granted. Senator Diaz-Gomez?
This is more of a recommendation as well. Have you considered making a general location sharing feature, as you mentioned, like in certain emergency situations where students can't respond because they feel that they just can't? Is there a way that they can just share their location and it would be in the form of an SOS?
I'm gonna try to repeat as I understood it. So you're asking if you can set like a beacon without having to necessarily speak, but maybe turn it on. That you can actually do through the mobile blue light. If you press that button, 911 has training. So if there is no voice coming through, but you do see a location, it's something that's going to alert their spidey senses, that we should at least go and investigate as to what may be going on.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Senator Cabrera Figueroa?
Yeah. So I know that we also have the Matador patrols here on campus.
Yes.
And then just a thought, because there is the friend walk as well. Is there any plans on collaborating with or potentially integrating the Matador patrols into this application?
Good question. So if you go into the resources button, that also gives you the non-emergency phone number to dispatch. And by using that number or extension 2111, you can call and coordinate a meetup and accompaniment by a Matador patrol member who are housed out of our department as well.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Senator Dominguez?
Love all these questions. Thank you for taking so much interest.
Do you guys have like a procedure in place if someone just like accidentally like uses any of the services?
Yes, we treat it as if it would be an accidental call most of the time. Sorry, I shouldn't say most of the time. Whenever there is a call that's come through a 911 line, the practice is to call back to see if there is an issue that is occurring. So you'll be receiving a text message because we do acknowledge that a text message has come through, even if it looks like a bunch of consonants, right? But if someone accidentally calls 911 and we realize that it's been on for a while, usual practice is to call back and make sure that that is okay.
Thank you, Senator Basilio.
Yeah, so how long has this app been in the works? Because it's very like close to the incident that happened like maybe 2 weeks ago on Friday. So I wanted to see if it was like a response to that sexual assault case, or if it was just like already in the works and it just happened to come out at the
Good
time.
question, and I appreciate that question. This app has actually been in the works for approximately 9 months. Prior to this, we've been working with Rave Alert and making sure that our notification systems are as robust and capable as possible. So it's all part of the package that Rave is helping us to enhance our safety and security here on campus.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Senator Diaz-Gomez?
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Senator Carca?
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Senator Cabrera Figueroa?
So I know there's a few signs around campus with the CSUN Safe app on it. What other plans are there for promoting this within the student body?
We are actually going to be having different opportunities for training or an orientation with the app. We are working closely with our deaf and hard of hearing community, especially to make sure that they're aware that the app is there, more so to ensure that they have a voice as to what type of resources should be available on top of what we have now. It's I think, a product that's going to continuously evolve with not only technology that continues to come as time does, but also I think we are very much aware as to we don't know what we don't know until we know it, right? So interactions like this truly help us find out what the campus community needs. We'll also be reaching out to different clubs and organizations to ensure that the campus community provides knowledge that this application is here to all of their members. We also want to make sure that we promote it on October 28th, which we will be having the zombie apocalypse. Once again, there will actually be a booth and part of the preparedness package, so I invite you to participate to gain more knowledge about that. And there is a program that Tony and I are working on and making sure that we reach as many people on campus as possible.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Senator Gavino?
Yeah, I'm sure you've considered it, but just to make sure we're recommending it, I'd recommend you send it out on Canvas as well as a push notification.
Okay.
If you've seen some other things
That's a
done
good
there,
idea.
just because I think, as Senator Basilio said, with a lot of the events that were happening recently, I think it's on a lot of people's minds. And so getting that out sooner on Canvas would encourage a lot of people to download the app, I think.
Great, that's something that I hadn't thought about, so thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Okay. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you coming today.
Thank you for your time. I leave my QR code there. Please send me any emails or phone calls for any suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you, and that concludes our special presentations. We will now move over to open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes.
Good morning, Senators. Tomorrow marks 2 years since the ongoing genocide against Palestinians, and 77 years since the Nakba, a catastrophic event in which Palestinians were violently displaced from their ancestral homelands. Israeli colonizers who wither under the rays of the sun and are poisoned by the pollen of olive trees ancestral to Palestine claim indigeneity while bombing, flattening, and scorching the very land they claim is theirs. The sun rejects you, the sky and the land reject you. This war is not about Hamas. It never was. Israel has made it very clear from the beginning it aims to ethnically cleanse, displace, and exterminate Palestinians to further its settler colonial Greater Israel agenda. They have bombed every last hospital in Gaza, incinerated nurseries and schools, reduced over 70% of homes to rubble. They have targeted Palestinians in evacuation routes, in so-called safe zones, in humanitarian lines and ambulances. They have committed dozens of war crimes, bombed the West Bank where Hamas holds no power, raided farms, rejected ceasefires, violated ceasefires, and taken thousands of innocent Palestinian hostages to be tortured, dehumanized, and sexually assaulted in Israeli prisons. And where's Hamas? Still at large. Hamas militants are growing and hostages are still missing. Israel's brutal onslaught has brought not peace or safety, but rather just devastation. They block aid at the borders, they manipulate media narratives with propaganda that has been repeatedly debunked. Zionists fund powerful lobby groups like AIPAC to push billions in US aid to Israel while neglecting the suffering of people here at home. And yet, under rubble, under a sky of drones, under siege and blockade, Palestinians remain rooted in their beloved land. Their blood waters the olive trees, their bodies nourish the soil, their very existence is resistance. For 77 years, Palestinians have endured inhumane conditions, and still they have preserved their language, their culture, their history, their identity, and their will to return. I'm privileged to only wipe away my tears, for in Palestine, mothers wipe blood off their martyred children. We are watching a genocide unfold in real time. And once again, the world is hesitant, like in Rwanda, in Bhutan, and in Germany. Never again means never again for anyone. Never again is now, and never again for Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum?
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Alana Grosby. I am the AS Sport Club's president for this year, and I just wanted to give a few updates from sport clubs. So, ice hockey had their season opener, and they won with a score of 6-2 against Fullerton. And all of our sport clubs just finished up tryouts for the semester. And we had Sport Clubs 101 this past Sunday, and we had over 300 people in attendance.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Hermione Douglas. I'm Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, as well as Black Student Union President. And just to give a little bit about the committee members that are being voted on for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, they each resemble teamwork, communication, and advocacy skills, as well as they have shown that they've advocated for people, whether that's at their last school or in their community. So I definitely believe that each one is definitely supposed to be here, and it would be a pleasure to serve on the committee with every which one of them. So, yeah.
Okay, hello. My name's Araceli Torres, and I currently serve as the chair of elections. I am here to speak a little bit about my committee members. Some of them are here, so they will be introducing themselves as well. But I do want to share a short statement on each person as to why I believe they would be amazing candidates for my elections committee. So I'll start off with Joanna Portillo. She is a hard worker and a goal-oriented person. Throughout her high school experience, she has been able to grow her advocacy skills as she was part of leadership in a sexual and mental health group. She is a freshman, but this would be an amazing start to her advocacy journey here at CSUN. For Belinda Muniz, she has amazing outreach experience. She does have prior experience due to her position in her sorority. She has great ideas for marketing to increase student engagement. She also has great communication skills and is dedicated to making an amazing end result. For Brianna Nagarro, she is very good at public speaking and interacting with students as she was part of the new student orientation program. She is an active listener and gets things done on time. Ellen Akani, she is a proud advocate for herself and others. She shows this as she is part of the new student orientation and speaks up for her freshmen as well as her transfers. She has amazing public speaking skills as well as outreach skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum? Hello, James.
Morning, everybody. My name is James Forster, and I serve as the AS Programs Manager. I'm just here to give you all an update about some of our events that are happening this week. So tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll have our farmers market, normal time from 10 to 2, or 2:30 technically out on the market, but there'll be tables out on the square until 2 o'clock. On Thursday, we're going to have a lighter approach to our Thursday Thrift event. It'll just be a donation drive. The reason being is that on Saturday is Big Show. For those of you that still need to buy your ticket, they're still $10 for students right now, 15 if you want to bring guests from home, and they are 15 at the door for everyone. So I encourage you buy your ticket ahead of time. But because on Thursday, we bring our stage in. It rolls in front of the library and all that kind of stuff. We need some staff that are there. So Thursday Thrift will be a little bit more just of a donation drive there. But Thursday is pretty cool. So the stage comes in, it rolls in at 6 o'clock. So if any of you are on campus at 6 a.m., feel free to walk by and see us working and getting that up and going. Friday, the fence line goes up. And then on Saturday, the gates open at 2 o'clock. And then our headliner should go on somewhere around 5 o'clock as well. So we're going to have some student opener DJs as well, some different entertainment options that are there, inflatables, there'll be permanent bracelets, there's going to be airbrush tattoos, along with some of our other vendor giveaways and stuff like that too. So we're really looking forward to the show. It's going to be a great time. Again, I encourage you all, if you haven't bought your tickets, if you have friends in your classes that haven't bought tickets, encourage them to do so. Again, you can bring guests from home. Those tickets just cost $5 more. And yeah, I'm around for any of you that have questions, but we're really excited about the show. We think it's going to be a really awesome show. Glantis is a really cool artist. And he's got some cool surprises lined up that we're looking forward to as well too. So thank you all so much, and I hope to see you all on Saturday.
My name is Jeffrey Shaw. I'm part of one of the people on the DEI community. I'm majoring in documentaries and minor in career studies. I'm a treasure student from Riverside City College. I got a list of, I'm the current president of the Trans Wellness Alliance here at CSUN. I was student leader at TCAMP, mentoring different CSUs, UCs, and community college students in 3 days of Trans Joy. I was previous president at Sexuality, Gender, and Acceptance Club at Riverside City College. I was a student representative for the LGBTQI2+ Association for Student Success and Quality for 2021 to 2024. I got so much going on. And I was a senator at ASRCC for 2023 to 2024. And was a student representative for Academic Senate. I was student representative for DEI community, and I'm a member of the SSCCC, the Student Senate of California Community Colleges Career Caucus, which I offer a resolution S24.04.02 for mandatory LGBTQI training for faculty and class-side staff. Because I experienced transphobia in the classroom and I've done something about it, in which affect all 116 community colleges, and I have memorandum to the chancellor's office that, hey, your training is not good enough. So some of my goals is make DEI action oriented, because a lot of DEI communities, especially my community college, they talk a lot but not put action. So I want to make a lot of action and make an equitable campus and make feel everyone included. And I want to make hazing, bullying policy, like training for CTA students, because there are a lot of egos going on there. And I want to make sure everyone has an equal playing field and teach a future generation of filmmakers that we're not going to tolerate this. Because I want to make sure to graduate and say, hey, harassment, bullying, or sexual harassment is not going to be tolerated. So I want to see that happen. And I'm disabled student, I'm dyslexic. So I have gripes with the address department. They're dismissed my records for my disability because I'm an older transfer student, so my disabilities went disappear. And contact the Department of California Rehab, and I guess they said I had disabilities, so they're not accept that. So it finally all come down, appeal it, and show like, hey, my community college accepted me, and so they're finally accept me. And the lack of accessibility technology too, because like the reading writing program right now is stuck in the early 2000s, to be honest. And I want to see them make a better program, have like AI voices into it, so that way can read a text for you and make more natural, and then the Microsoft voice get like a little bit boring reading 25 pages of that to you. So yeah, so what I'm looking forward to and make a impactful change here, because I know my time is limited here, and make a last legacy and make DI action oriented and make it very transparent and make sure the student voices are heard. So thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bella Pulliam, and I am one of the people on the agenda. I assume it's a special agenda for today. And I'll be here for, hopefully you guys vote me in for the DEI committee along with Jennifer. Big fan of her. Anyway, so a little bit to go over my bio. I appreciate you all also taking the time to be here today and reading all our bios. My goals for when I'm on the committee is hopefully I want to create some large print materials for tabling along with Braille materials so that we can reach a wider audience. Additionally, I would like to create some pre-visit stories and sensory guides for either different events or locations on campus in order to help the different diverse student body we have here. As you can tell, I'm very invested with accessibility, and shout out to Hermione for shouting out all of the members today. But sorry, I'm going around in circles. But so I am very interested about accessibility words. And this summer I was actually in DC. Marcella was there as well. It's nice seeing you again. And I was entering for the Folklife Festival with accessibility. In my bio, I did a little typo. I'm not the accessibility assistant. That's Tori Baker, amazing individual. I was just the accessibility intern, but I learned so much. I grew trifold there, and I want to take those tools and knowledge and bring it back here. So talking about accessibility, I kind of want to sign it a little bit and give you guys some food for thought. So there's kind of an idea I want to tell you guys about. If you go online, you can go on watch on YouTube through Deaf Eyes. It's a lot of good information. It was produced by Gallaudet University, which is the deaf university in DC. And the information I want to share is from Rory Osbrink. He kind of introduced the idea of, yes, when there is a room full of hearing people, when there's a deaf person that walks in, of course, the deaf person needs the accommodation. However, he also flips it and says, hey, if there is a room full of deaf people and a hearing person walks in, the hearing person will need the accessibility. So that's one of the reasons why at the beginning I started with signing, and we'll probably like, I don't know what you're saying, only Richie knows, because fellow deaf studies major, we love you, Richie. So I kind of wanted to put that forth and give you guys the idea about how accommodations and accessibility is really set up and based off of what we already think the norm is. And I want to challenge you guys to think more about what we consider the norm in order to be able to include more perspectives and more things that we consider accessibility and accommodation into the events that you throw or the different events you like help plan in order to help this be overall more welcoming events and more welcoming campus to diverse people. Anyway, I appreciate all for your time. And if you want to know what I said, please come to me after Senate. I'm friendly, I don't bite. I'll let you know. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum?
Hello? Okay. So hi, I'm Brianna Naharo or Naharo. Um, I'm hopefully will be able to get your approval for my appointment on the elections committee. Um, the reason as to why I even applied for this was because of my key interaction with one of my friends here at CSUN, where last election, I even told him that I went to go out vote during my break, and he really just asked me, what did you even vote for? So that's what made me realize how many people, even in our school, knows about these ongoing elections. And I even took more of a notice of our involvement or notices. If you were to go through your college, I almost always guarantee that you'll find on your bulletin boards that these flyers date back to like 2019, which is pre-COVID. And so I feel like we are in some terms behind, or we aren't sending out this message when elections take place. And I feel like this is what affects people from, even knowing about these positions to applying, to advocate, to give people their perspectives. Because with CSUN, we are such a huge community. And with all of this amount of people, we will have a cultivation of ideas, opinions, perspectives, because I guarantee there are things that I will not agree with you, like pineapple on pizza. So imagine how it is on a larger scale. And so therefore, I think it is the importance of community outreach. I have even started things for community outreach. I volunteer as a new student orientation leader and a student navigator, which is to help bring a certain mentor to our bridge to our freshmen, because I know freshmen are one of the more harder people to integrate and make friends or have someone who has prior experiences, especially considering how much of a commuter population we are. It is really hard to talk to people outside of classes. Like, it's like the thing, like, do you ever want to hang out socially? And most of the time, that does not occur. And so, therefore, I hope that with your help and the help of the elections committee is to help highlight ideas, help bring things forward, because I know we are such an isolated being commuter and then having people around. And so therefore my purpose, or I hope to serve as the purpose, to help people give these ideas and foster them. And so that way it will always be open, because I know everyone has an opinion or an idea that comes in certain times. And so therefore, by asking questions or reaching out to people, it may give them the courage or encouragement to think and actually ask people about that. So that is my hopeful purpose for serving on the elections committee, is to help elections be more circulating and let people know what's actually going on, because it's it's a really minimal part where people actually do know, unless you were to go scour or literally go scrolling through so many reels on our CSUN page. And thank you.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Belinda Muniz. I'm a senior, currently majoring in sociology with a minor in child and adolescent development. So sorry. I'm here to present myself for the lovely elections committee. Yay. As I said, I am currently majoring in sociology. That being said, my current career aspirations are social work, specifically within the child and family services, primarily because it gives me the opportunity to work directly with children and families in need and in need of dire resources that they might be afraid of accessing or don't know how to access. This also just stems from the fact that my parents, they have immigrated here and they have had their own fair of struggles accessing resources or having the courage to access resources, just because of their citizenship status. And my mom's family has also had their fair share of just toxic living conditions and the foster care system that they've also haven't had a positive experience with. So I just really want to contribute to making a difference in that and helping the foster community and the structure of everything within that realm improve. But outside of academics, I'm also a part of the Tri Delta sorority here at CSUN. I am currently the director of member selection. This position does involve a lot of outreach. I'm responsible for reaching out to girls within the CSUN campus just to see if they're interested in joining not just Tri Delta, but Greek life in general. I answer any questions that they might have about my own sorority, about Greek life, mainly the financials, our sisterhood, our philanthropy, etc. I'm also in charge of tabling on campus. I love tabling just because it gives me the opportunity to meet more girls and make more friends. And it kind of gives me that experience of outreach, but more so one-on-one in person. If I am elected as part of the elections committee, I would love to help with tabling. I already have that experience, but also I really want to learn from this experience. A lot of my outreach does simply revolve around girls interested in Greek life, so I don't get to reach the entire CSUN population or different groups of people, which I would love to get more experience in given my career choice. But yes, thank you for having me today.
Sorry. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Joanna Portillo, and I'm here to introduce myself for the Elections Committee. My preferred pronouns are she, her, and I'm currently majoring in food science with hopes to continue and pursue to get my master's to become a dietitian. That stems from personal, childhood, how I kind of grew up and my relationship and my habits with food. And I hope to kind of impact the future generations and to make a difference and hopefully one day run my own nonprofit to help younger generations who have kind of poor habits with food or don't have the best structure when it comes to nutrition, because I know I didn't. So, yes, I was inspired to join the elections committee after kind of seeing the lack of spirit that we have when it comes to elections. I remember at my high school, because I just graduated last semester, I remember that elections was such a big time. Like, I ran for secretary in my AS, and I remember there was always lots of competition and lots of other kids who kind of wanted to push for that betterment in my school community. And here I noticed that there's very much a lack of, and people do not know like when election season is or like who it is that's even running for elections. And so I kind of wanted to join the election committee to make a difference and to also grow our outreach and to be able to reach more people so that our community is more involved. Because Miss Queen was saying before me, we have a humongous campus. There's a lot of us, and we are a big commuter school, just like I am also a commuter. So I want to be able to get more involved and to meet more faces and to just grow our community overall and to have a better, stronger community. So, yes, I am Joanna Portillo, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum?
Ooh. Thank you, Senators, Vice President, and President of Associated Students. My name is Fred Fernandez. I am the Chief of Police for the Department of Police Services. And I thought it would be useful for me today to make myself available because I know there were a lot of questions and concerns over the sexual assault that occurred on September 26th in the early morning hours in the Orange Grove. So if you'd like me to, I can kind of briefly go over the event, or I can open myself up to questions immediately. Your choice as a group, but I'm happy to be here. I'm present and I'm here for you today. Madam President, how would you like me to proceed?
I unfortunately can't take questions during open forum. However, if there are any updates that you would like to give us, we'd greatly appreciate it. And our senators can definitely come to DPS after the Senate meeting.
Thank you very much. All right, so let me start with just backing up a little bit to the events of that in the early morning hours of Friday on September 26th. Our officers received, or our dispatchers received, a notification via blue light that was telling us that a sexual assault had occurred in the Orange Grove. The blue light that was activated was actually at the Spirit Plaza location, so quite a ways away from there. Our officers immediately responded, provided support for the victim, who is not related to the CSUN campus, neither student, staff, or faculty. We immediately took the information in regards to the description of the suspect. In a short period of time, we were actually able to find somebody that we identified as the potential suspect, but through a field show up, the victim did not identify that person. So later in the morning, due to that information, we made the decision to go ahead and send an emergency notification and timely warning. So that's kind of the initial event for those of you that aren't as familiar. I assume everybody actually is. Since then, we've continued our investigation and have spoken to the victim multiple times. And the victim has given us the information she's chosen to give us. And so at that point, we are no longer engaged with her, but we continue to be present for her if she selects to talk to us any further. We immediately took a look at the physical location to make sure that the area is safe. I want you to know that our physical plant management keeps the ground cover very low for the purpose of being able to look into that location clearly from either the street or from the walkway. That has continued to be done. Based on the situation, I requested that our environmental health and safety do a light survey for us. We noticed that the lighting is very good within the area, the campus. However, there is some lighting challenges on the street side due to some lights being not activated. We have notified the city of that particular situation. We continue to do extra foot patrols, especially in the evening hours, to try to just keep that feeling of safety. We understand that the Orange Grove is a community gathering point for many, many people, not only on the campus, but in the town gown, our immediate communities. So we find it important to continue to try to elevate that safety. I think we've made you aware, but if we haven't, we have a night safety walk, which should be occurring later in the month, early in next month. And this will be a great opportunity for all of us to look at that location together. Somebody brought up the app and asked if that was related to the incident, and that is an unhappy coincidence. It was our plan to roll this out on October 1st. But we find that we believe that this is going to be very valuable to keeping our campus safe. And so somebody in this group asked about what we're going to do to get that word out. We're really working hard, but if this group here has any suggestions on how we can better do that, we would be happy to either hear your ideas or partner with you in getting that word out, because we do believe that this application is going to have is a game changer for us in safety. So that being said, I'm available right now for your questions or concerns.
Please find the chief of police after the Senate meeting, just because we can't take questions during open forum. But thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Is there anyone else here for open forum? Okay, we will now move over to reports, starting with mine. Good morning, everyone. It has been a very, very long semester. I just wanted to start off by addressing Senator Carca's open forum comment. Tomorrow does mark 2 years since the war in Gaza broke out, and there is no denying that this has affected our students daily. And so I want to reiterate to our board and to the rest of the student body that Associated Students will continue to support our Jewish and Palestinian students in every way possible. If there are any specific concerns that you guys would like to address as student leaders for any of these student populations, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to myself, reach out to our vice president, or take on any initiatives yourselves. You are student leaders and you do represent the voice for the student body. And if there is a voice that you believe needs to be heard in regards to specific concerns or specific situations or specific current events, you guys are all more than capable of doing so. Moving on, I had a meeting with the Food Service Advisory Committee for the TUC. I just received a few updates on what's going to be added to the University Student Union, as well as some things that are happening at the dorms. We had our Police Advisory Committee as well. We received incident updates and asked about what we can do differently in regards to the Advisory Committee. And then that's when I first found out about the CSUN Safe Act. You guys all received a presentation. I think this is a very, very helpful app, and I hope that our students find it helpful as well. And I believe it'll be launching later on this week or early next week. I had a meeting with a Metro representative for CSUN where we talked about the different transportation pass options that we have for the student body. And then we are going to be discussing on what we can do further in regards to how we can ensure that the Metro Pass, specifically the U Pass, can be more affordable or free for our students. And this was a meeting that was attended by our Senator Cabrera Figueroa and Senator Garcia, as well as the president for YDSA, Lupe. And then I really just was catching up on some midterm essays. So unfortunately, I don't have much to report aside from that. This week, I have our Chair of Outreach and Recruitment orientation as she was officially onboarded on Friday. So now she can start reviewing all of the applicants and starting the interview process for the rest of our committees and Senate and Cabinet open seats. I have Faculty Senate on October 9th, so if there's anything that you all want me to address with our faculty, please let me know. I also have IRA Personnel and Campus Fee Advisory Committee. So if you guys would have any concerns that you would like me to bring up at any of those meetings, please let me know. And that's about it. I did speed run through this because we do have to end this meeting at 11 a.m., so I apologize. Are there any questions on my report? Senator Dominguez.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Senator Diaz-Gomez.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Senator Carca.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Okay, if there are no questions, we will move over to our Vice President Jimeniano Aragon's report.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to week 7 of the semester. I hope that you all are well. I organized the first Mental Health Mondays themed to journaling. We had an amazing time reaching out to students and promoting well-being resources. So the next Mental Health Monday, it's going to be on October 27. So let me know if you know of any resource that you think would be beneficial to have during the event. Thanks to Madeline and Denise for helping me with arranging the space reservation and the ordering of necessary materials. I met with President Beck to discuss on the university's flag protocol. I will be reviewing our current flag protocols and provide recommendations to ensure that CSUN has clear, appropriate protocols to serve our community. The group is composed of Dr. David Bajasian as a faculty member and Hai Ling Tang as a staff member. Dr. Ken Luna, the Chief of Operations in the Office of the Provost, will provide administrative support to our efforts. Please let me know if you'd like to contribute to this or provide me with feedback. I have already started asking other AS or ASI's presidents about their flag protocols on campus. President Sarabia and I have the following opportunity for senators. The first one is join the AS task force. So by participating in one or more of the working groups, teaching and learning, research, or administration/operations. So if you want to be participating on this, please let me know. The second option or way to get involved is participating in the AI task for training/workshop planning group. So that will be to help design and shape the training so that it connects meaningfully with students. So if you'd like to be involved, please let me know. You can use those office hours to work on that. I had my weekly meetings with Executive Director Allen where we discussed on a scholarships initiative that I have to make our offerings more inclusive, as well as working on outreach to increase the number of applicants. Thanks to Vicky for her work and the implementations after our audits. I had a one-on-one with Natalie Navarro, ASI President of CSU Monterey Bay, where we discussed on scholarship opportunities, flag policy, affordability and accountability, as well as shared governance. I attended the weekly cabinet meetings and I made recommendations to the Chair of Legislative Affairs and Chair of DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, to make a press release of the recently approved resolution. I submitted my report as AS liaison to the USU BOD agenda. I want to second President Sarabia's sentiment. We are committed to not shying away from issues that concern students, and we will be discussing on how to ensure that AS stands with all matadors. For week 7, here is your checklist. We will be conducting our mid-semester meetings on week 8, so I will be providing updates on your events, and I can also support you with any personal projects or standing committee work. I will be sending the invitations over email. Once again, I'll try to schedule them within your office hours. However, before that, please accept them to confirm your attendance. If I cannot find any common times, I will be sending out a doodle poll for you to complete. I kindly ask that you all make the necessary preparations to ensure that you are present by 9 a.m. to all Senate meetings especially during meetings that include special presentation or guest speakers such as administrators. As a senator, it is important that we demonstrate professionalism at all times. Remember that being tardy also contributes to your absence recordings. In the event of an emergency or unforeseen circumstance that may affect your attendance or punctuality, please make sure to email Kiri, Denise, and myself. While it is ultimately up to President Sarabia to determine if it's excused or not, it is a matter of keeping us informed so that we can best support you. Finally, we will be doing a Senate introductory video, so please be on the lookout for an email from Sheen Gupta, as she will be arranging the availability between you and the videographers. Finally, please go to Big Show. If I see you there, come to me, we'll trade candy. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Vice President's report? Okay, Senator Cabrera Figueroa.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our Chief of Staff, Bo Burke's report.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hope we're having a good day today. I'll try and make this as quick as possible since we're on a little bit of a time restraint. So as usual, I had several interviews this week with more promising candidates for our remaining positions. I hope to see some of them on the agenda for next week to be approved. I also collected, compiled, and sent out all the bios, which I hope you guys all saw and read for all these candidates that came in today. All right. I will be assisting with the training of our new chair of outreach and recruitment, which will be happening right after this meeting. And then she'll be taking over all that stuff. So that's a little slightly less of a headache for me. I also attended external affairs and university affairs as the Attorney General, which will be taken over by our new Attorney General once he's onboarded. I have finally finalized most of my one-on-one times with all the cabinet members, which will be bi-weekly starting this week. I hope to use this time to further connect with and support each cabinet member on their projects and goals. And then we also had our cabinet meeting this week where we had a more in-depth report session where we shared important ideas and just discussed some of the events that are coming up. I also outlined a few of my goals and expectations for the one-on-ones we're going to be having, and I hope to continue and foster an environment that allows people to ask questions and grow as leaders within the cabinet. And then that's all for me. I'll move on to our chair of elections. So she's finished with her interviews, God willing, as everyone gets sworn in. And she hopes to have her team finalized by next week. She talked to Daniel about setting up her Basecamp account and just general marketing stuff. She also attended the marketing and production training that we had last week. For next week, she hopes to set her committee time that works with all her committee members and then meet with marketing to discuss general election information. And she hopes to get her calendar approved by her committee after her first meeting. And then that's all. We'll move on to our chair of DEI. For this week, she booked her room for the committee meetings. They will be taking place from 3 to 4 p.m. on Thursdays. She is currently working on the agenda, which will be sent out this coming Wednesday. She will also be meeting with Denise to discuss the Cultural Unity Showcase. And she's met with multiple different organizations that agree that they think it's a great idea. She has also emailed MIC leadership about doing open forums with AS so that we can strengthen the relationship between the MIC and organizations on campus. She has also reached out through email about adding another required position called Diversity and Inclusion Officer, and she's still waiting to hear back, and we'll be following up this Monday. She has also put in a request to reserve her space for those open forums that she was talking about. For next week, she hopes, or I guess this week, she hopes to have her first DEI committee meeting and then have that meeting with MIC leadership to discuss those open forums and the new officer position. And then I'll move on to our chair of Ledge, which is kind of short this week. So good morning, Matadors. Very slow week for him, but he worked on some of those campus visits that are upcoming and had a chance to meet with me and the president just to discuss some upcoming events. And then for next week, we're hoping to finalize those dates for the visits. And then we also have big party coming up, so keep that in mind. And then we're also prepping for our East Bay plenary. So, and then that's all for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Chief of Staff Boberg's report? Senator Basilio.
This is more of a question for both of you. Are there any plans to start sending out biographies the same day you send out Senate agendas? Because it's kind of hard to read through everything very last minute.
No. Unfortunately, we don't get confirmation from any of the appointees until maybe the morning of. And then we give them until Thursday so that they can send over their bios because they are students as well. And they don't have the responsibilities that many of you guys do. So they also account for the rest of their responsibilities. But if you'd like to discuss a better plan, we can discuss it outside of Senate. But right now, the only people that are collecting bios are our government secretary, Madeline, and our chief of staff, Boberg. And that's just two people trying to collect bios for maybe, if we're lucky, a list of 8 students. So, yeah, chief of staff, Boberg.
And then also, if you want to follow up on that, oh well, it's just be a little shaky. Sheen's going to be taking over on that. So once she's onboarded, if you guys want to discuss that with her as well, then please meet with her.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our Chair of Finance, Tourette's report.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I'll make this very brief. So the current remaining balance for supplemental totals as of October 3rd, 2025, STAR is at 200,000. Unassigned contingency is $575,602. Fill fund is 7,400, sorry. Club and organization travel is 25,000. Some work I did over the week. Luckily, with this presentation with MIC, a lot of students did come up to me to my office hours, and luckily I was able to connect with students and perhaps give them the support, the financial support, and show them what is available to them. And with that being said, I was able to answer a lot of questions. Some more. I also started processing STAR requests. There's numerous of them, so catching up on that. I've also conducted more interviews with candidates applying for the Finance Committee. Speaking of the Finance Committee, we have our first Finance Committee meeting today at 1 p.m. So excited. And for upcoming events, so I have all these meetings on Friday back to back. So I have IRA board meeting, I have the cabinet meeting, I have personnel board meeting, and then I have the CFAC meeting all back to back. So that's exciting. Now moving to the Assistant Chair of Finance report. This past week, I presented a finance workshop for a Black and African student organization at the Black House on Friday. It was a great opportunity to share financial support and connect with student leaders. Me and Chair Emily are working with the marketing department to create informational videos that promote AS funding. I'm also working on the legislative referrals, subsidizing student club and custodian fees for the University Affair Committee. Lastly, we are all set for our first Finance Committee today, and I'm excited to continue learning through this role. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Chair of Finance report? Senator Cabrera Figueroa?
Permission to be recognized?
Granted. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move past our Attorney General into our standing committee report, starting with Chair Gavino.
Good morning. Still working on the AI referral. The feedback form for leadership students will be going out after the meeting. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the External Affairs Committee's report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to Chair Basilio's report.
Good morning, everyone. Our major referral is the increase in senator stipends, and to better understand how we can model after other schools and what we can or cannot implement from other schools. We split up all the CSUs among our committee to gather more data. Besides that, actually, never mind. It's not important. Our meeting is at 4:20 p.m. this week, so please go on time. Thank you. Are there any questions on Chair Basilio's report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our Chair Humana's report.
Good morning, everyone. University Affairs had plenty to discuss last week. We tackled a few legislative referrals, including a club storage referral, a referral on waiving student fees for booking classrooms with more than 100 attendants, and a referral on parking availability signs on surface parking. We also are working on a referral for building checkups here on campus. I delegated some tasks to the senators in my committee to contact the relevant auxiliaries on campus, such as PPM and the MIC. We will all follow up this week. Our meeting is this Thursday at 4 p.m. That is all I have.
Thank you. Are there any questions on Chair Humana's report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our Executive Director Allen's report.
Good morning and happy Monday. So I would start by saying you are student leaders. And so with this being the 7th week, I know that many of you are in midterms or have completed midterms or working on papers and projects. It is okay as a leader to prioritize those things. Do not feel that you're neglecting your responsibilities as an elected or appointed member of the board. That's very, very important. Okay, kind of moving on to some additional things to inform you about. This week on Wednesday, October the 8th, the library will be having a thing in the Furman presentation room on banned books, and they'll do a readout of that. So if you are available, I would encourage you to go, but they also have an online opportunity for you to be able to go via Zoom. There is so much happening across the country in terms of materials that are being banned and burned and removed from schools. And I think that it's critical as people that are in higher education that we are fighting against this, because the way that we can advance our society and continue to learn and grow is by the knowledge that sometimes comes from silenced voices. And those are the books that are being disbanded. And some of them are things like the education of the miseducation of the Negro, which is a very critical book that really talks about ways in which things were silenced and kept from individuals who were enslaved. So just remember that that's going to be on October 8th, and you can go via Zoom. The other thing I want to know, I was very happy to see that we had the presentation on the CSUN Safe app. Just so that you know, we've already signed up for the Zombie Apocalypse program. I think that that's a critically important program for the campus because it's really about safety and being prepared. And one of the things that most people think about when they think of Cal State Northridge is the January 17th earthquake in 1994, and that's the greatest potential disaster that we have in the region. But the reality is fires, and that was demonstrated this past spring. And the thing is, most people are not prepared for fires in this region, which is unfortunate. And you saw that happen, just play itself out this past spring. And so my hope is that we will use this as an opportunity to educate our students, our faculty and staff about how critical it is to be ready and prepared for that, because we are about to enter fire season these upcoming months, especially once the Santa Ana winds kick in. A couple other things. We have the next Mental Health Monday happening on October the 27th, but this past weekend I went to the Getty Center. Hadn't been there since 2019. Such an incredible resource that is free. There is a charge for parking, but you can always take public transportation or go with multiple people. There's a beautiful garden there, and I think one of the things that we need to do in terms of self-care is to get out in nature, and sometimes you can't do that. So whether you go to the Getty or just go to our own botanical gardens, go down to our orange grove, there's many spaces that we have on campus where you can sit and get some respite. So I would encourage you to do that as well. The last couple of things that I wanted to mention, I wanted to acknowledge this past weekend Sport Club Council, our Sport Club 101 event. I want to give a shout out to Asia. She advanced Madison to include the event check-in app, which was a feature that was not being used. And that is something that incredibly streamlined check-in. I was just amazed at how quickly that went on. And so that's a great feature that not only, can be used at programs that we do, but programs that our organizations do as well. The other thing I wanted to mention is acknowledge Asia for the work that happened with Hazing Prevention Week. That is something that's a critical program that we're engaged in. And it was my pleasure to present the hazing workshop at Sport Club 101. And the thing that I want to do is that I've worked at this university for over 30 years prior to my return. And so I've known a lot of students. I have, as my sister says, I have way too many Facebook friends. I can't know all those people. Well, every single person that's a Facebook friend has been a person that's met or crossed my path. But there is one student's name that I will never forget, and that name is Armando Villa. Armando Villa was a student who passed away on July 1st of 2014 due to a hazing event that occurred. And so I want to make sure that never again will we have a death on this campus due to hazing. And so I want to make sure that you as student leaders know his name. If you want to know his story and want to know the impact of this young man's life on my life, please feel free to stop by and visit me in my office. So the last thing I would mention is that this Saturday, I will be at the big show. I want to see all y'all at the big show. This is your artist, not my artist, because who's my artist? Earth, Wind, and Fire. Remember, September 21st. Okay, so I'm going to be out there learning all about Galantis, but I'm also excited to see our student DJs, right? So these are our students that are going to be up and coming artists that one day will be at a concert that you'll be sending your kids to, right? So let's make sure that we get out there and sell those tickets. I have sold 50. So I have sold 50. I have string-armed a lot of alum that live in the area to say, come on back, visit your campus, and come hang out with me at the big show. So you need to get out there and bring your family, your friends, and encourage them to come and hang out on our campus on Saturday. As of today, we have sold 1,620 tickets. So that's 1,620 tickets. 1,620 tickets for an event that has a capacity of 7,000. 1,620 tickets. Now, our goal, James's goal went to 2,000. I'm still at 3,000. So I've sold 50. I'm still selling. So I want to encourage you to sell as well. So we'll see you throughout the week, but more importantly, we'll see you on Saturday. And I expect to get my groove on and you as well. So that's it.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Executive Director's report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our University Advisor, Asia Butler's report.
So last Monday and Tuesday, we had our Hazing Prevention Week program with Christina Pearl. We had over 600 students attend between both sessions. Like Vicky said, hazing prevention education is very important. A lot of times students who are being hazed will talk to one of you before they come to us. And so being able to help them, provide resources to them, and also being able to identify hazing when you see it. You might be walking across campus and you see something that looks weird and you're like, what's going on over there? That could be some hazing going on. So I do encourage you all to do the Hazing Prevention 101 training. It's about a 45-minute training. It's free for all students. You just log in with your CSUN credentials, just so you can be aware of the signs of hazing and know how to direct students, because hazing is everyone's responsibility. And in the MIC, we want every student to have a safe and fun student experience, whether that's Greek life, sports, general clubs and organizations. Hazing can happen across, all those organizations. So please do that training so you know how to refer students or provide support. We have our leadership workshop series still going on. And our next topic is going to be identifying your transferable leadership skills. I think it's really important, especially for all of you who are involved in so many different leadership positions on campus, to know how to effectively list those things on your resume and how to transfer what you're doing. There's been a lot of times when I've gotten resumes from students and they talk about, like, oh, I was in XYZ club and I did this. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but how does that translate into a job? So really making sure you know how to communicate what you've done in your role so that an employer can see that and know, like, oh, okay, this person is good at X, Y, and Z. So it's going to be facilitated by the Career Center. It's Tuesday, October 7th in the Ventura Room, 12 to 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the University Advisors Report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move past our faculty advisor, past unfinished business into new business, into the approval for the following appointees. Just a reminder, we do need to end this meeting at 11 a.m. So please, if you have any comments or questions, please keep them to up to 1 minute and do not ask any redundant questions. Thank you. Do I have a motion? Senator Gabino.
Yeah, given that the chairs came and spoke on their behalf today, I believe it's just appropriate to group them, so I'm gonna make that motion. Yeah. I move to approve appointments 1 through 4 under line item A, that is Elaine Akagani, Joanna Portillo, Brianna Najarro, and Belinda Muniz for the Elections Committee. Yes.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Umana, is there any discussion on approving all of Elections Committee candidates? Okay, seeing and hearing, Senator Cabrera Figueroa.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask for the candidates, I apologize. Brianna Najarro, Belinda Muniz, and Eileen Agakani. Have any of these candidates mentioned their specific interest in elections?
Chief of Staff Boberg.
Well, you're grouping 3 people together. But I think for the most part, it's outreach. That's what they all mentioned, is that a lot of people don't know about elections, and since they all have experience with outreach, that's the thing that they want to focus on.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of approving the appointments for Elaine Akakani, Joanna Portillo, Brianna Najarro, and Belinda Munoz for Elections Committee, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those opposed? All those abstained? Okay, the candidates are approved. Is there a motion for line item 5, 6, and 7? Senator Gavino?
I move to approve the appointments 5 through 7 under line item A, that is Jennifer Shaw, Bella Pulliam, and Tajay Finley for the DEI committee.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Umana, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of approving the appointments for Jennifer Shaw, Bella Pulliam, and Tajay Finley for DEI committee, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those opposed? All those abstained? Okay, thank you. This passes. Congratulations to all of our committee members. You shall hear from your chairs soon. Moving past information items, discussion items into legislative referrals. I have 2. One was actually sent by Senator Gavino minutes after her last meeting ended. This one is titled Community Relationships, Exploring CSUN and AES's relationships with local public community entities like Northridge East Neighborhood Council, including how to expand and strengthen these relationships. This was suggested to go to External Affairs, and it will go to External Affairs. Our next legislative referral is from Vice President Geminiano Aragon, titled Revisiting SB 2024-25004, Call to Action in Support of Undocumented Students, and SB 2025-26001, Condemning Anti-HSI Practices from the Department of Education. The request is as follows: revisit the following referrals to ensure that AES is not only supporting students, but also following up with actionable items. Some bills also passed, so we want to ensure that CSUN is a safe space for all students. This was suggested to go to External Affairs, and to External Affairs it will go. Okay, those were all of our legislative referrals. One was redacted by the senator. So we will move over to announcements. Are there any announcements from the board? Senator Gabino.
I have time for this. That's great. Happy Filipino American History Month. If you don't know, I'm part Filipino American, and so
It's a community that means a lot to me. If you don't know, Filipino American History Month was started in 1992 by the Filipino American National Historical Society and recognized by Congress as an official U.S. History Month in 2009. It honors the first recorded landing of Filipino migrants in the U.S. at Morro Bay, California on October 18th, 1587, which is 192 years before the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The theme this year is, I had it. It's From Quotas to Communities, Filipino American Migration and Movement, which recognizes the 60th anniversary of the 1965 Immigration and Naturalization Act. I think it's really interesting to look back on the history of U.S. immigration and how the country was constructed in a racist, nativist way to ensure European settlement and restrict other communities of color. So definitely look into that. It's a situation that a lot of your constituents and a lot of the students have dealt with. A lot of their parents are immigrants. They may even be immigrants, and seeing how the policy affects them then and now is really important in looking at that history. So whether it be in the Filipino American community, in your own community, definitely look into it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to talk about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further announcements from the board? Well, good luck to anyone that has midterms still. I apologize, but you guys got it and you guys will get amazing grades. If there are no further announcements, we will move over to final roll call.
Vice President Jimeniano Aragon,
Here.
Senator Abrams. Here. Senator Arias Gomez.
Here.
Senator Atias.
Here.
Senator Basilio.
Here.
Senator Cabrera Figueroa. Senator Contreras.
Here.
Senator Kuninian.
Here.
Senator Dominguez.
Here.
Senator Garcia.
Here.
Senator Gavino.
Here.
Senator Kachadia.
Here.
Senator Karka.
Here.
Senator Mane.
Here.
Senator Quiroga.
Here.
Senator Ramirez.
Here.
Senator Umana.
Here.
Senator Vicente.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I now adjourn this meeting at 10:59 a.m.